Welcome to More Bread, Please. My name is Marcus. I'll be taking care of you this evening. If you haven't dined with us before, welcome. Tonight's special is going to be talking about parties and big parties. Talking about the horror stories and talk about everything that goes into serving big parties. For dessert, we'll talk about some of the places that we've graced our presence with and tell some funny stories about those places. Welcome to More Bread, Please. Let's get something going for you. Welcome to the Thunderdome, fuckers. Man, I watched the movie Waiting the other day.
Waiting?
I guess it's just Waiting with Ryan Reynolds. Oh my God, dude. And he's like, welcome to the Thunderdome.
I've never seen it. I don't think.
It's a comfort movie. I used to watch it.
Wait, you never seen it?
That's crazy. It's about
waiting tables.
Right?
Yeah, literally.
I watched it for the first time about 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Oh.
Yes, I'm relatively new to the game as well. But yes, in theory, a classic.
10s across the board. It's a good movie.
It's funny because they hit everything on serving so perfectly.
It's legit. Yeah.
It's like the kitchen. Well, I've worked in shitty kitchens like that where we done dumb shit, but the waiting, like the people that came in and like were getting served were like, you didn't cook my steak to a medium rare. You didn't do this. And it's like time to fuck this shit up and drop it on the floor. And you have to watch it. It's a funny movie.
Heard.
Yeah, the cast is also just major. There's a ton of people in it that are throughout Hollywood.
They're all young, very young when the movie came out.
Ryan Reynolds, Justin Long.
Went on to do Deadpool, probably the best movie ever. No, I'm kidding. It is a good movie, though.
There's a lot of good Ryan Reynolds movies. Yeah. Man, I fucking
did good, huh?
I did good on this drink. I just fucking put a bunch of shit together with some tequila and made it work.
Mix it up right.
But today we're talking about serving parties. And here's why I brought you guys together. Jacob, I love you, but your anxiety gets to you sometimes. And so I feel like you get stressed out with parties. The three of us are kind of like less anxiety to like handle a party, but
you suck, dude.
Thank you so much.
That's not what I'm saying.
We're trying to make you better.
Dude.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, we're here to break you down and make you better.
It's an intervention. Got it.
Thank you for coming to the intervention of Jake, where he doesn't know how to serve tables, and we're going to tell him how to serve tables. No,
that's why you're here.
Dude. No,
I make better tips than all these people. I just want everybody to know. I'm kidding. But actually, though.
No, so it's also
seriously.
Kidding again. Seriously, though.
No,
but
seriously. Look it
I
up.
make better tips. I'm kidding.
I'll show you the bank accounts. All right. Anyway, sorry.
But I don't know. Matt knows this. I don't know if you know this. In 2013, I trained Jacob at his first job.
I did not know that.
And that's why I can't do parties.
Because I can't do parties.
Sorry. No. But yes, that is true.
Jacob's gone on to serve a bunch of different restaurants, and we've heard a little bit. We'll get to them, but I want to hear where you started.
My man.
Alex.
Yeah, so I started at a Southern barbecue place.
Where
at 15.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
They let you work at 15?
Young.
Yeah, so at the time, as long as you had a learner's, well, I don't even think it was a learner's permit necessarily, a right to work, or you at least 15 years old, you could get a part-time job. I think max at 18 hours or something like that.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Solid.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't work full time, but exceptions are obviously made. You know what I mean?
Where'd you go from? Like, where'd you start learning to serve tables? Like at that restaurant or when you were 15?
Yeah, so it's interesting. They had a weird hybrid concept as far as, so you'd go up and you'd order, and then technically someone would bring it out to you and then kind of maintain basic service. They wouldn't necessarily get refills, but they bust your shit and make sure food's tasty.
So they're kind of like a Martin's barbecue.
Yeah, that's a I don't want to say Martin's is a modern day like spinoff of it necessarily, but this place has been around in Nashville for a fair amount of time.
I feel like a lot of people are moving that way because of the whole tipping issue and just paying your employees to pay, just pay them a minimum wage.
And so the airport location that this place had, they had a dining room attendant position where basically this person was responsible for taking care of all the dining room, so to speak. So they would make tips technically on top of a normal wage.
Oh, wow.
So hypothetically, like a good day there would be around $100 or $80 or something like that. Like you kind of crushed it on top of,
at
wages,
15, being a 15-year-old, you're out there.
Yeah.
That's good money.
That's
good money.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
On top of
for
getting
15.
wage and, with what's going on. Yeah. And the work is pretty casual. It's a Southern barbecue place. You're not
So you were
shelling lobsters.
How long did you work there? You were 15 till?
So on and off basically through high school, college. And then I formally left at 23 when I tore my ACL.
Oh, wow.
Damn,
dude, that's
bro.
terrible.
So
I did it when I was like
23.
I did 13. I tore my ACL and everything on all my ligaments in my knee, and they were completely shot. And then I had surgery, and but it was terrible.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was out with another coworker. I was the MOD the next day. I was working a double, and he was the primary grill guy that we had, who was also there on a double. And we went out to a pool bar here in Nashville and got obliterated. And naturally played basketball at 3 a.m. outside of the bar because that's what responsible adults do.
Classic.
That just sounds.
I
heard.
I tore my ACL, so he and my other buddy, who everyone's drunk, they take me to the hospital, and we didn't know it at the time because I was being a diva and focused on me. He broke his ankle in the same fucking game.
Whoa.
And he didn't know it till the next morning because he was too drunk, and he woke up and his fucking ankle was huge, right? And so we both had to call out of work the next day. We had to bring in the manager who was out of town in Alabama to come up and cover for me because I was.
Yeah, we know you tore your ACL and broken ankle, but hey, we really need you. Can you?
Oh, dude, my boss was furious with me. And that's ultimately what ended up kind of drove to the separation. Because when I came back, shit just. Well, I tore my ACL at a not good time in the scheme of the company. And then there's just a bunch of shit that happened internally within the company. And it was just not a good time for me to do what I did, basically.
So then what? You went to Ruth after that, Chris?
Okay, so small side note. Before I got the management job, I was kind of climbing the ladder. So when I was 20, I SA'd at Ruth for a little bit and got to experience what fine dining was like, so to speak.
Okay.
I was still working part-time at this other job and splitting time between Roos. Got promoted into management at this other company, so I ended up leaving Roos. Left them on okay terms, though. So when it came time to leave the barbecue company, ended up going to Roos and serving.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did they just throw you into like serving parties, or did they train you?
As far as for private dining, technically you got trained by somebody. So that banquet captain, similar to other restaurants and things like that. You have people that are the primary people that work it all the time, and you have people that kind of are filler and coming in and out. So I got trained technically on banquets because it was different service than the floor, obviously.
Yeah.
But banquets there were, I don't want to say straightforward, but as long as you could carry trays and just kind of stay organized and do sweeping movements, it was pretty straightforward and easy. You didn't have to work too hard.
So Matt, when did you start serving? Like, were you like introduced to tables like, hey, you're about to take an 8 top tonight. Now you take a 16 top by yourself.
I feel like it's only like that where we are. Like the 16 top, 20 top stuff that they let one person take at a time. Usually don't do that anywhere else. Probably where we work now. Yeah, probably where we work now. Little parties at Fleming's before, 8 to 10. Then after 10, it was 2 people per like 10 people.
That's
like
usually the standard.
Yeah,
10 people or 2 people per 10 people.
That's really how it was. And then I'll be on private dinings there whenever they needed someone.
And
like
then Jacob,
are you talking about for PDR? That's the standard.
Well, that's
I feel like it's a little bigger than that. Like 12 is the most one person can have.
Well,
right?
I think
is what I would say usually.
As a company, I think it's 10 or 8 people, 1 per person. Like, so there'd be 1 server to 8 covers.
Okay, that checks out.
That's what I think
thought people
companies
might be
try to like strive for.
To hear that. Yeah,
because like not a lot of like, I feel like we've gotten to this point where we've served a lot of tables, and we can handle a lot of stuff without getting bogged down. When you're put into the industry, you're like, hey, there's a 12 top coming in. We're slammed, but we need you to take that.
Yeah.
You're like 12 covers. I can't handle 12 covers when you first start. But now we're like taking 12 covers. Like, God, this is so boring. But we've gotten so proficient at it. So I've said this before, but I worked at Cheddar's, and that's when they really threw me into it. They let me handle some tables at first, and they just like, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and take this and take this? And then I transferred to the one in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and it was just absolute chaos. They were like, hey, take this. Oh, you can handle 20 people at one time? I'm like,
yep.
That's usually how managers do it, right? Like, they see what you can handle. Then when they figure it out, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll just keep giving it to you. Yeah.
So they let me have this whole, they called it the atrium. But there was like 30 people and like 15 of it was kids. So it was really just 15 adults with like tiny little humans. So anyways, I had the bright idea. I had no busser, no SA. There was no essays there. And so I was like, I can't pre-bus anything. It's too chaotic. Everybody wants like a fruit fucking tea. Everybody wants a fucking drink. I just can't handle.
My mom loves fruit teas, man.
Dude, I can't fucking stand fruit teas. Yeah. Peach tea is going out the window like crazy. And the peach teas were made by the bar, but you had to bring them tea. It got to a point where I just gave them pitchers. I was like, fill it up. So anyways, I'm serving this people. They leave, and I'm like, you know what? I'm bring a trash can in here. I'm going to dump everything, scrape everything off, and just take the dishes back. Well, I got halfway to the kitchen and then people started surrounding me because they were like, oh, I'm like, dude, get out of the way. It's heavy. Like I had 30 plus dishes on this one oval tray. I get into the kitchen. I had slip shoes. Like I didn't have the non-slip shoes, and I slid and my foot smacked the wall. And like I carry everything with my left arm, and I'm predominantly like right-handed. But for some reason, I grabbed the wall with my dear life, and everybody behind me starts screaming, and I'm having the tray like almost fall backwards, and everybody grabs. It was like a surreal moment. Everybody just grabs the tray at one time, but all you hear me doing is click, 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 because shit's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing it. Yeah. The entire kitchen goes quiet, and then everybody's like, okay, we got you. And then the manager was like QAing, which is quality assurance, expoing, and he just stops, and everybody it's like complete silence for like 2 seconds, and he's like, go, screaming that we had just saved all of these dishes. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Oh my God.
It was fucking awful. But yeah, they
it happens, man.
At that place, they just threw me into all kinds of fucking serving tables, and like they're like, oh, you can handle all this, take this, and to the point where like I couldn't handle it anymore.
Sure.
But you went to
yeah. I think y'all say like I like have anxiety. I'll just straight up tell a host no. Like if I already have like 3 tables, I don't want a 4th table. Not like immediately. If let's say like I just got almost
100%.
Triple set or whatever, like I'm gonna say no. I feel like earlier on in my serving career, like I really was hesitant to ever tell a host manager no, because then they might not give you the next thing, whatever that next thing is. Sure. A big table, a nice cover, whatever, you know. So try to say yes to everything. And I'm trying to think if I had really any training on parties. I don't know. Some Mexican restaurant. I mean, at a restaurant in Nashville. At a restaurant in Nashville. I would get these massive parties, like 20, 22 people, and literally they would split the check.
Yeah, dude.
All of those ways,
Yeah.
20 ways, you know? So I'm sitting there. I got so good at printing out all the receipts, and then you could tear them off at just the right way to just like have this massive line of receipts just to like show people what was going on. You know what I mean?
like take a picture of it, and you're like across the restaurant just holding this long
it was insane.
paper receipt.
Yeah, because they're all paying with a different credit card or whatever. And anyways, made it happen. But I guess, again, manager sees you do something like that, then you just get more of it. So it's like,
because you're impressed with like how you
fun.
kept everything in order and like keeping all that in track. And it's like, just, it's impressive to me because I'm like, dude, at some of these places, like the place we work at now, we do seat numbers, and we're very adamant. Like, hey, that's your seat number. That's where your food's going. At other places like Mellow Mushroom, I don't think I ever did seat numbers. Definitely when I worked at Martin's, no seat numbers. It was just like give you a number and then you go take the food to that number. But Cheddar's, it was just it was what it like. I don't even know how the seat numbers worked there. I don't remember. But yeah, it was just keeping all that in order is hard.
It's a lot to do, man.
Yeah. I write everything down for sure for like big parties, you know, and then like at some point I did like the fine dining big party stuff. And then that's kind of how I started doing the fine dining, you know, party stuff. I feel like once you've done it somewhere, again, you can just tell an employer like, oh, I've done this at this place. And I even think I name dropped that person that I served in that private party to get the job that I'm at currently. You know, like I served this person in a small room party, you know, like they put me on that on purpose.
Are you talking about that someone famous?
Yes.
That's someone famous from Nashville?
Yes.
And her name's, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if we can say her. I don't know if that's cool or not. I mean, know. Yeah.
You can.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
No, so it was Miley Cyrus who you served.
I'm just like a small 10-top private, you know, room that they had booked out or whatever in advance. You know, we've all done those kind of parties before.
Yeah.
But it just happened to be Miley Cyrus. So
yeah, I got brought into
she was very sweet. She was drinking coffee.
But I worked a party the other day. It was 16-year-old girls, and oh my gosh, dude! Like it's not that like they're difficult or anything, but they're all on their phones, just like doing this. And then the one girl that her parents were paying for the food and stuff, she was like, "Hey, girls, why don't we just take all your phones and put them over here?" And I was like, "Oh, good on that girl."
Throw them in the basket.
Literally in the basket. Like, can you turn my phone off, please? Hey, make sure Andrew doesn't text me. Hey, make sure this person doesn't. It's like, okay, like you just put your phones over there, just chill the fuck out. Like they're in a group setting, like just let me do my thing and you guys can hang out. But that's like a private stuff.
I kind of like being off the phone at work, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like it's cool to, I don't know, for me at least, zone out, got to focus on the tables.
Dude,
for a sec,
when I'm doing something like serving tables, especially big parties, I barely have time to talk to other people. So did you serve a bunch of big tables at Ruth's? Were you in the private dining sector of Ruth's, Chris?
I did both. There were, at the time when I was an SA there coming back, so that would have been at 23. There were probably 3 or 4 main banquet people. And then, man, the servers there were tenured for at the bottom end 2 to 3 years to the top end at like 28 or 29. And then there was a bunch of like 18, 15, 12s, 10s.
Mm-hmm.
So people had been there a really, really long time because in that era, people were making a shit ton of money. And like the job was cool because there was a lot of camaraderie going on.
Especially with Ruth's Chris, like you go around to almost any city, they have one.
Sure.
Right. It's corporate, there's a certain standard, the 500-degree plate, so to speak, like that's the experience.
We literally, we talked about that the other night. I worked at Outback and I was grabbing food at the window and I cinched my glove onto my hand because I didn't realize that they want the 500 degrees. They wanted the 500-degree rule with the plates, right? They never told you, and they're like, just grab it out the window. Like,
wow.
Dude, shit. We had an oven, a literal oven that the plates would be in, and they were so hot. They had actual like gloves that the runners use to pick up the plates.
I was going to ask,
if you touch them,
they will burn you.
They'll burn the shit out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we have plates like that too. Like,
it's intense.
But I have a mark from a potato au gratin right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the expo guy was like, here, take this. I'm like, okay. I start walking with him. I'm like, okay, this is getting real hot. Okay, wow, it's real hot. Okay, it's insanely fucking hot. And it had like burned a little hole into my arm, basically.
Wow.
It was fucking terrible.
It's lame.
Yeah, it is lame. But I mean, you had to get the food out there because it was like, get the fucking food out.
I will die for this food.
I will die.
I will die.
Are you sure
Don't
about
test
that?
me. You sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
You sure about that? That's why. I think you should leave. Such a good show. Shout out, I think you should leave. Shout out Tim Robinson.
Dude,
wow,
I went through watched like
he was texting me the other night.
I was just texting him skits like
shout out Netflix putting them on.
Dude,
anyways, it's
absolutely.
great.
Yeah, that's a fucking
absolutely.
Great. Yeah. I'll take that.
I should have got that burger.
I should have ordered that burger.
You think this is
but
slicked back? This is
pushed back.
But
dude,
that being said about like the burger thing, I actually had a guy do that on a large party with me.
Do what?
Like he was like he ordered like a quarter chicken or half chicken. I think I told you this the other night.
Oh yeah.
But he ordered a half chicken and he's like, he waits for all the food to come out. He's like, oh man, I didn't order this. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. I wrote it down as you ordered this. And he was like, no, I ordered catfish. I was like, bro, you can tell me you want the catfish. He's like, yeah, that catfish looks pretty good. I really want that. I was like, well, now you're going to wait 10 minutes for that. So it sounds like a you problem. Like I was so irritated with that table at this point, like, cause they had just
but
like,
you actually said it to him though. You said that.
You said that, right?
I definitely said that.
Yeah.
Like,
look, you peeled in.
Yeah.
Shut up. Sorry.
But they had complained about everything that day. And I was just like so irritated with them. But that Jim and Nick's was where that was. And they used to have this like private room and do just throw all kinds of parties. Be like, hey, Marcus, you can take that. Hey, my other brother, Tyler, you can take that. And I remember taking a 30 top one time and I was like, this is fucking chaos. Like all the kids want different Sprite, Coke,
Shirley
Diet
Temples,
Coke, Shirley
all that
Temple,
stuff.
unsweet tea, half sweet, half.
Yep.
You have to remember what you wrote down, where it is. And then like you had to draw a diagram from the kitchen to where the seat numbers were. And I said, hey, food's coming out and sitting right here.
You had to make a hold up. I want to make sure everybody got that. You had to make a diagram of the seating.
I had to make a snake the way the tables
the kitchen.
went. Yeah.
That's insane. I never worked at a place that didn't have seat numbers. That's actually surprising to me.
Because like they didn't.
I don't think.
Well, I mean, it should have been seat numbers there, but you rang everything in order, and that's kind of where you sat. It was unknown. It was unknowingly seat numbers.
Huh?
Like they didn't teach us seat numbers there. It was just like, well, you ring it in this way, and that's how it works. We're ringing it in a U, and it goes out as a U. But this party was like, there was like a table every like 3 feet, and it was just random kids or these kids from a baseball camp sitting in this room. Of course, like you go through and get all your drinks, and then like you're like, holy shit, I gotta get refills. So why did it take so long to get our orders? It was like, dude, I gotta get 35 drinks. What are you talking about? But eventually, it got done, but it was fucking terrible. Like
Yeah,
I hate serving parties over probably 15. I can't do it
By yourself?
by myself.
Oh, the max I would want to do is 12. And I feel like I handle that fairly. I did a private party the other night, 12 people in that little room feels perfect. You have everything you need there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's all wine glasses are there. You don't have to walk for anything, you know?
I'm glad
I
that
don't
we
want to do
don't
more
do
than 12. That's insane.
Yeah, I can't do
It's
it.
the alcohol. That's what makes it difficult. Is
That's
when there's a bunch of people. That first round of drinks is the hardest part.
It is, man.
Once you do that,
Uh-huh.
it's usually pretty smooth unless everyone continues to. I need to
Uh-huh.
drink. They're drinking a lot,
Yeah.
but that's the hardest part. The food's not hard. Once you get the food in there, it's easy.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
getting that first round of drinks and keep
It's
it up
always
with it.
more intense that 1st
Mhm.
like 30, 45 minutes of a table rather than the back half. I feel like it.
Oh, 100%. Because you've
Gotta
already gotten to
establish-
whatever you need to get. You got
Yeah.
your orders, you got your food in the kitchen.
Yeah.
There's less stress. You're like, hey, now it's just maintenance.
Everyone's pissed
Yep.
too because they just want a fucking drink, and you're like, dude, you'll get your drink, and they're just
Can I
like,
get a Bud Light? That's what I get all the time.
no.
Yes. Would you give me 2 seconds to get 2 feet from down the fucking
Yeah.
down the table?
There's one of me.
You know, it's funny you referenced Bud Light because I actually had a table for the first time in person as they were asking me, hey, what beers do you have? And I listed them all off. They're like, oh, well, not Bud Light. I don't know what that bullshit. And
I haven't
it was
had
weird
one
to see
yet.
it in
I'm so
person
surprised I
for the
haven't had
first
one.
time
Yeah.
with a table. Like I've heard all through it in the news and like in our world, that's
Mhm.
not necessarily a thing. But no, like these two dudes were adamant that
They
they
were
were
very
not going to be
serious
drinking
about
Bud
I
Light.
was serving in the morning one time, and the guy was like, boss was like, hey guys, I'm gonna get a drink. Like, feel free to grab one drink with me. And there he was like, he's the other guy across the table was like, I think I'll get a drink. And he was like, what do you got? I'm like, Budweiser, Bud Light, and go through all of it. And then he's like, none of that Bud Light shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like,
You know what I'm saying, right? You get it.
Jesus
He
Christ.
spits.
Can I get a Corona? I'm like, yes.
He wanted a Corona.
And he wanted a Corona. And he's like, just on that Bud Light shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you.
So
piece of
he's
shit.
fine with the Mexican beer. That's,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a check in the right direction, I guess. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, I fucking hate when people do that though. They're like, but I don't want this drink. I want that drink.
Hmm.
Or like,
Or I love listing off every beer that we
Oh,
have,
I love
every
it.
craft, everything. They're like, I'll get a Budweiser.
I fucking.
All right,
And you're
dude.
going deep into
Fuck,
the cut
dude.
of
Yeah, yeah.
all of the beers.
I'm like,
like,
would you like a cold glass with your Budweiser?
we're going Peroni. We're going Stella. Amstel Light.
I got
We're
got a couple local IPAs here. Like, go through the whole entire
What's
list.
your best IPA?
Oh, but I'll get a Bud
Got
Light.
one.
I'll get a Bud.
I don't want it.
Yep.
It's not IPA enough.
Mm-mm.
Wait,
God,
It's
I
fine,
love
man.
it, dude.
did
People
you?
can drink what they want to drink. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah, for
whatever.
sure, for
like,
sure.
yeah. Sometimes you like a sweet drink.
I'm
Sometimes you want
almost
a beer,
glad we don't
sometimes you
have
want a
draft
cocktail.
though.
For
Draft,
sure.
draft,
Very
dude.
thankful.
Nah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
I did. No, it's fucking terrible.
It wouldn't even work, man.
I think the hardest thing at a steakhouse is martinis, right? Like carrying a big tray of like,
18
especially a big party.
martinis.
Yeah, dude.
Well, yeah, if you have 8 top and 6 of them martinis,
It's so
and you have
true,
2
man.
bottles of wine, it's
You
like,
know, because
God damn.
those glasses are
Yeah.
like fat. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Anyways, and we pour them up. You know.
Yeah, they're like gin. Some of them do vodka.
Yeah.
Some are dirty.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
are shaken,
So
shaken
similar.
stirred or whatever. Like
Oh.
fruit, all that stuff.
Dude, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Cheddar's was really bad about that. They would put all kinds of random like drinks on the goblet, the
Mhm.
goblins or whatever.
Mhm.
What do you call them? They're like big cauldrons. I
I
don't
don't know.
I can't think. There's a
Chalice?
what was it? Chalice.
Chalice.
That yeah, it was a chalice. So there would be
I
like large chalices of like frozen drinks because they had
Mm.
blenders and shit. Oh, that's
Thankful we don't have one of those either.
Dude, when people
fucking
ask
terrible.
Blenders would be terrible.
It's
Frozen
funny.
drinks. Mm-mm.
that, mm,
I had a party of 8 one time, and that was my only table that night. And they're like, what do you got to drink? And I told them, and they're like, you got any frozen margaritas? No, man, we
Dude,
do not.
My question is
Sure
like,
don't.
where are you going to get this stuff? I don't understand. When
What, a
people-
frozen margarita?
Yeah, or like pina coladas and stuff. Can you do a pina colada?
Pro
I'm like,
Lifer for
Chili's.
pina coladas.
Dude,
Shut
I'm
up.
like, bro.
Applebee's.
Sure.
do you know how loud it would be in here if there was a blender going on?
That was the hilarious thing about Roos is the bar had a blender and it was in the center of the fucking restaurant. So anytime someone got a frozen
Can
drink,
you
the bar
imagine?
was so mad because all the guests were like,
Yeah,
"What
yeah.
the fuck? Why is there a chainsaw
And
going?"
it's also
right
like
now?
a 1970s, like,
Honey.
dude,
yeah. some old ass fuck.
There's
Honey.
no doubt.
Aren't you so happy that we're having this romantic meal? You know, it's just great, dude.
I want to ask you to be my.
What'd you say?
Dude, shout out the people that get frozen drinks. Though.
dude,
Shout out
I
to
mean,
frozen drinks though.
Low key, that's a fucking
Shout out
flex,
frozen
bro. They're
drinks,
like, we
bro.
don't give a fuck.
That's confidence, boy. I love it.
We know it's going to mess up your whole day. I still want the frozen drink.
Give it to
I
me.
hope it ruins the whole restaurant's experience.
And then you get like, actually, I kind of want the same thing. No, you can.
I was waiting for you to talk. My bad.
But you get a whole table of those. It's like, yeah, we got a food runner.
Dude, kitchens
And nobody
are
else
just,
can talk.
Yeah, it's just sloppy places.
Yeah.
If you haven't worked in a restaurant, you just don't get it. Like it's just,
No.
it's insane. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, like
At that Mexican joint, did they have one?
insane.
It's a fucking mess.
Oh, what? A food
A
run?
blender.
No. God, I can't. Yes, we did. We
I was
did.
about to say,
Yeah.
you get frozen margaritas.
We
We
Well,
definitely
yeah,
did.
so I mean,
We
for
definitely
that
did.
world, I can
Yeah.
understand it. I think it's so. For instance, we wouldn't go to Broadway and try and get a dirty martini.
True,
Necessarily.
true.
Very
You have to
true.
know
I
that-
might
Come to us.
actually. I might try to do that.
Which you can.
No, I would never.
Whiskey Kitchen. Hey!
Let me get a dirty martini.
I want 2 olives, please.
Yeah, blue cheese, stuff them bitches.
And if they're not, I'm not paying. You try to yell over the music. Sorry, go ahead.
Friends in low places is just blaring in the background.
I need a
It's just
dirty
in a little
martini.
plastic cup.
They would serve a
And
martini
the
to you.
baseball
in a-
diamond, the little water cups.
It's in a
Fuck
little
yeah.
plastic shot cup.
Dude, I was serving at a table one time and they're like, why doesn't anybody downtown have any draft? And I was like, you want to know why they don't have draft? And
glass and
I literally
stuff.
said, because everybody downtown would break a glass or take the glass with them and they would have no glassware. So that's why everybody down here does bottles.
Yep.
And they're like, well, that's stupid. I'm like, don't come downtown.
You're stupid.
Yeah. Don't come down, dummies.
Please don't see us. Please don't.
But Jacob had told me a story earlier
Oh,
before you guys
martinis
got
on
here.
a tray. Should I? Yeah, no, for sure. Dude, I thought about it when I said martinis earlier because, okay, yes, carrying like 6 martinis is really tough at our restaurant for sure. At this Mexican spot, sometimes I would have to carry like 20 thin glass, like tiny, champagne glasses full
Mhm.
of
Flutes.
mimosas, whatever, flutes. Yeah. Yeah. So, and this is also the place where, of course, checks 20 ways. Of course, literally there's like 2 or 3 bachelorette parties every single weekend. Not a joke.
yeah.
Can't make it up.
Classic
like,
Nashville spot.
it was awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
it was cool. It was fun. But so I'm carrying 20 of these little flutes to a table of mimosas or whatever. I get to the table. All these girls are partying. They're having a great like Nashville weekend, and I drop all 20 of them, every single one of them. That's bad.
Oh, God, I'm scared. Hot girls.
That is bad. That is bad. But what's worse is when I went back to the bar to get all 20 more, I walked back to the table again.
You dropped that
Every
shit.
single one of them.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
I would like my boss walked up to me. She was like, "Are you okay?" Like I wasn't on anything. I promise. I swear. Like was not on anything at all. And yeah, just it
Hot
was just
girls again.
some day. No, man, you just like slippy some days. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's some days I'll never break a glass for 40
100%.
shifts in a row, and then I'll break like 3 on one shift or whatever.
yeah. Every time.
I don't
Dude,
know
I
what
was
it is.
picking have you ever picked a glass rack up
But yes, they were
by the
beautiful.
middle?
I was
That's
about
why
to say, like, were
Yeah.
they really cute?
And that's why I freaked out. Yeah, you're right.
so high. Oh my God.
I love you. I mean,
Oh God. I'm so sorry. I'll get 20 more. Oh God. I'm
God.
really sorry. Can I have your number? No, but have you ever picked a glass rack up by the middle before?
mhm.
So we worked at this restaurant where
Did it fucking
everyone did
fly
it.
out?
Oh, dude, I picked it up and I was with confidence, like, oh yeah, I got this. Boom, and like shattered every single piece of glassware
Wow.
there was in there, and I was like, fuck.
Mm.
Like they're like, I feel like every job like threatens you when you first start. Be like, you break glass, we're taking it out of your check. I've broken so much glassware, I don't know.
I've had the like messed up food thing. We'll take that out of your check. Like you have to pay for something that you messed up or whatever, but never the glassware thing.
We actually had
as far as I can
at
remember.
Cheddar's, we had to call the cops one time because of a big party.
Really?
It was like I think like 70 people. I mean, a bunch of different servers were on it, but
Why they brought in bottles?
no, because they wouldn't pay their tabs.
Wow.
They said, no, this person already paid for it. And it's like, that person's gone. They paid for their own stuff. And like, now we're missing food. And they're like, well, I'm not paying for that. That person told me they were paying. We'll call them up, get their credit card number. No, I ain't
Mhm.
calling them.
Mhm.
And then have to eventually call the cops and like ban them from the restaurant. It's like, Jesus. But that's the only place I've ever been that's been super combative. The to the point of not paying for something, especially in a large party.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else I've been, Mellow Mushroom was just a fucking annoying because all the Vanderbilt people would come in and be like, I want to split a pizza 17,000 ways.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen before. Nowhere else really. It was just those places like where they could split thousands of things.
Dude, at the Brazilian steakhouse, they did that shit all the time.
Which one?
Rodizio.
Oh, Rodizio?
Got blown up. But yeah, dude, they would do that shit all the time. That was a tough one. They would put us on like huge tables, and it's that buff. Like they're walking around with the meat, cutting the meat off. And it's
how is that though?
It's nonstop, dude. So there's plates, just like you have 20 people, and they're all just like filling up plates of fucking meat and shit. You're just constantly taking all that shit. There's no seat numbers or anything either. It was just like you just
shit.
like put it in like that type of.
So was there an actual like
deal.
meat cutter?
Yeah, the gauchos, dude.
Is that what they call them?
Yeah, they look cool, man. They look like
That's
fucking,
so cool.
Yeah, it was just pretty sweet. It was cool.
But how'd the sides
They're
work
just like
there?
muscle men. Like
The sides were all.
Yeah, if they were yoked and it came out in a thong and they were just shaving the table side.
That's right. They looked like pirates, and they had these huge, like these like they weren't that big, sharp knives, and they would just walk around with different types of meat. And basically, like you had this little block if you were in there eating, and it was there was a red side to it and a green side to it. If it was green, they would go up, ask you if you wanted some. If it was red, I'm trying to remember this. If it was red, you were done. If it was on the side, you were just taking a little break, a breather.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the sides were separate. They were all in the center, and you can go up and get them yourself. So you're doing that shit too.
God.
But it was like bachelorette parties and shit, just loading up on meat. Like
so much meat in those bachelorette parties.
That's kind of surprising.
you're waiting for that. This whole thing was to set that up.
The bachelorette parties really
That was a
love
long
meat.
time, no doubt,
I
just to get there.
You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, we were fucking with
Just
you.
yeah,
loading
dude.
up on meat.
They were loading up on meat before that wedding, man.
Come to Nashville to load up on meat.
For real though, like that's all it was. But it was
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
it was not fun.
Probably more bachelor parties there than bachelorette parties, right?
It was
No?
a nice mix. Nice
yeah,
mix of
yeah. We did have some bachelor parties
dudes
for sure.
loading up on meat too. The
Yeah.
bachelor parties loading up on meat
yeah,
also.
Got to load up on meat.
Yeah, more
Last
than
time,
the women. This might be the last time I get meat.
right, bros? It's so good to be out, boys. Let's all just go back and cuddle, okay? Sorry.
I got
That's the bachelor party.
I got
at
the
end of
sweats,
night.
dude.
Yeah.
I got the sweats.
It's 4
bro.
a.m.
Yeah.
We already lost Jerry. He was throwing up hours ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then bachelorette parties loading up on that meat.
People
On that
leave-
fucking meat,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
They love it.
That
Mhm.
was pretty fun.
Mm.
I didn't mean to do that.
I fucking hate bachelorette parties and bachelor parties.
Same. Least favorite people to take care of.
Because they're all just trying to get drunk. They don't even fucking care about the food.
They are getting drunk. They don't have money.
Imagine
They're not ordering anything.
Well,
It's fun though at the same time.
I made a lot of money
It's
off
fun.
of bachelorette parties.
Yes,
That's all I'm
yes,
saying.
fun.
So, you
So,
know,
Mitch,
I would
you know
like
what
to
I mean?
say, in
Same time.
fairness, like I've had some that are ass and that are not enjoyable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've also on
sure.
the other end of the spectrum though, definitely had good ones that take care of you and
Yeah,
that
100%.
are
Yeah.
super reasonable.
Absolutely Dick straws though. Dick balloons,
Dick straws.
like,
Oh my god, bro.
what else? Like just, lollipops shaped like dicks, like confetti all over the table, bachelorette parties, right? Like
just fucking
I
terrible.
worked at this fine dining restaurant, bachelorette party comes in, they just throw glitter everywhere. Well, obviously it goes on the floor too.
yeah.
It's on the floor for like 2 weeks, that we're having to deal
Have you-
with. Trying
have you
to
been into
sweep,
the-
trying to vacuum.
Have you been into the bar lately?
Our bar?
Yeah, our bar.
No. Still
Taylor
glitter.
Swift, Taylor Swift came in there and just glittered everything.
T Swift, and that is
When?
totally okay.
Have you
We're
not been
so
in the bar
happy to
yet?
have you.
No.
Bro, they can't get out we can't get off the
Shouts
floor.
out to all the
What?
tourism dollars that
Shouts out
everybody
to
came in
T-Swift.
and spent.
And
No,
we don't
it
have
is.
bad blood. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Swift.
Dude, yeah.
I wonder where she
But
eats.
crazy, left glitter all over the bar. Seriously.
yeah, she personally didn't come in, but
Oh.
everyone that came in.
The T Swift crowd.
Yeah.
T-Swift,
Basically Taylor Swift.
It's
Oh,
like,
Yeah, they're
now I
basically an
got it.
extension
Now I got
of her.
well, yeah, her limbs, her
Yes,
body parts.
yeah, dude.
That's
They're just out.
the
Yep.
body of
The
Taylor.
body of Taylor, if you will.
yeah, there's like
That's that
I
Christian. Shout out Christians.
I think it's like 600,000 people were downtown.
15,000.
600,000
Every day.
Wow, that's a lot bigger
Yeah,
number.
in the city, right? No,
In the city for the weekend, right?
Yeah, the hotels
Yeah.
were like $1,000 a
I
round
mean,
or something
were you
like
guys
that.
downtown for the draft when that was here?
Yes,
No,
I
no.
was downtown.
I was
I
downtown
was, yep.
that entire weekend.
Was it just mad?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I've not seen much like that in Nashville.
No.
It was pretty insane. There were a lot of people
What about
in
the
a very
race?
small space.
Is there any like crowds at the race ever? Like the August,
Like the Grand Prix that came through.
It's not
I
as
always
bad.
wondered if that was
I don't think.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
volume just like
not as much as the draft, obviously.
yeah,
'Cause
that
they-
one was just a weird stand. Oh, the Eclipse as well. A lot of people
Oh,
came
the
in town for
Eclipse
the
was so
Eclipse.
cool.
Oh, because
Yeah.
we were at, I think
we were in
at
the
1%
trajectory line or something
totality
like that, yeah.
of the eclipse.
Nice, good stats.
Like
Yeah.
Shout out stats.
I think that's what it is. I mean, but we were close.
No, seriously, that's.
But
cool.
we were close to it, like complete
need
complete
to see that
darkness. But that
spreadsheet.
was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I went to work that morning, and obviously we weren't busy at all. And so we're all just sitting on the lawn, just watching this like sun. And obviously we're doing the Donald Trump, like, I can see it. I'm good. I'm going blind, but okay. No, but yeah, we'd look up like, okay, cool. Like, that's cool.
And it was nuts. I was close to Percy Priest Lake area, and when it was in the process of getting covered in darkness, started to like creep over the lake, like animals started
Holy
like
shit.
making noises, and birds were flying, and like dogs
Howling
barking,
and shit.
like that. Yeah, it
Dude.
was pretty weird.
I remember the crickets coming out. That's all I remember. Like, I wish I would remember more wildlife. There was, yeah, it was
Just
wild.
the crickets.
What's up?
Another dude.
We're just
Crickets,
fucking-
baby.
I wish it
Dude.
blew a whistle, and they just would have came. To
Is that a cricket noise? Not really. No, that's not it either.
As
Wow,
we just do
are
crickets
tough.
in the sound bites right
bed
here.
frame.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, crickets.
Crickets.
Cue crickets.
Cue the crickets. Did you serve out of like? Did you have more privates at Roost, Chris, or did you have more privates? Jesus Christ!
Pirates.
I mean, the white folks at Roost, like the servers, they sometimes do like the borderline HR shit, like they'll grab each other's dicks and like they'll slap their ass and shit like that. So as far as privates, yeah, I mean, Roost was definitely
Mhm.
affiliated with
You
some
said
of
it. Not
I
him.
mean, I
There was
said
a,
We were talking about shaving. You said privates.
Oh, yeah.
hell yeah, you had to.
Oh yeah, I've
No,
seen
but-
that at restaurants for sure.
But you know what I mean, like private parties versus like regular, like walk-in parties.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
there
we're
was
not
a
talking about
time,
private
so-
parties.
Not literally
Now-
private
now
parts.
with it. All right.
So I
you
was
know.
serving my privates to them. It
On
was
the
under
platter.
the table service, literally and
8-inch
metaphorically. It
tube
was
steak.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean, as far as just like privates and the dining experience, if you will, the very first threesome I got to experience was through a table.
Dude, that's
Wow.
fucking
I mean-
metal.
Wow.
That's a rock.
What was weird? I didn't like. Who knew?
Was it
You
just
would
a
never
party
know.
of two?
Yeah, it was two chicks that came in.
And they said, "Would you go home with
No,
us?" This is
no.
how it
So I
happened.
was just talking to one of them primarily, and then while like to make the long story short, while we're in the room, the other one happened to come home and not come home with anybody. So she joined, and that was fascinating.
My man.
Wow.
Oh, I still wasn't very experienced as an adult. It still came crazy fast. It was awesome.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing. It does take a while to the
I
lips.
was not experienced as an
Oh
adult.
yeah, I mean having 4 titties in your face, that's just too. That's a lot to calculate.
That's a lot of titties, man.
Speaking of, in that text thread, you have to explain.
What text thread?
No, the table that you had to. She told you to grab her tits.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this woman had like apparently just had a, shall we say,
Body
a
alteration?
body alteration surgery in the upper region. Yeah,
And the chesticles.
yeah, yeah.
Testicles.
And nice. And so she was like, would you give them a squeeze? Like, let me know how, if they're real, do
how
they
does
feel
this
good
make
or
you
not?
feel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, at the time, still super pastor. Like, I'm not, I did not,
Sure.
this was like a no,
Oh, yeah, this is a hard pass.
but I played it off because I haven't been tipped yet. Of course, I'm
about
being
the
sexually
bottom line
assaulted
now.
currently, and I'm like, which was no.
Fine out.
No, but I'm like, no, why don't we get somebody more experienced to like come over here and test that out for you or something?
titty grabbing?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone in fact has a PhD in tit and bitties, actually.
I haven't
Let me
grabbed
go
many
grab it.
Hey,
titties.
Bob, come here. Grab this set.
This is Bob the Biddy. Bob the Biddy holder.
Yes. Now, to me, visually, Bob, I'm seeing really good. So what do you got?
Tell me the texture. Tell me what the tactile senses are
bags of
giving you.
sand.
Yeah,
Like bags of
sand.
I honestly didn't know what to say, man.
Hey, shout out Steve Carell.
And
Wild.
we
And
fucked
40-year-old version.
hard.
Wild. I was good boy. I was.
So you didn't
very
touch
good boy
him?
back then.
So, yeah,
No,
you didn't
did not,
grab him.
Did not. No.
Did she get mad? I would have got mad.
I think she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like her face, you know, it was like, really? Like, you know,
You're
and
not
I was like,
attracted to
yes,
me?
really. I'm not grabbing your breast right now in front of your friends.
While
On your
I'm
bachelor
working and
party,
serving your
though.
table.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyways.
While they
So,
all got dick straws. And
yeah. Yeah.
Dick
Oh, and
straws,
another
bro.
table, lovely 6, you know, women were coming in for a bachelorette party, obviously. Numerous. Apparently there's like a million weddings. Like according to Nashville, there's a billion weddings a year. Like there's so many
Oh my
weddings.
God.
So party of 6 comes in and like they're all chatting me up, like asking me what I do outside of work, yada yada, whatever. We're vibing. At the end, towards the end of the meal, one of them goes like, "What kind of vagina do you prefer?"
Oh,
Again, still super pastor. I'm in the church. I'm literally a Methodist children's pastor at a church. Now she doesn't know this, right? She's
Not
just like,
discussing
what kind?
labias.
Yeah, we haven't
Sure.
talked about exactly. And I don't know. I can't remember what I said again, but something, you know, lame and nerdy. I was like, I gotta go or something. The clothes are done. I don't know, you know. I don't know what to say. It was
203.
yeah.
my shift ends at 2:05. Sorry, I gotta go.
Hilarious.
But I served when I served at Melon Mushroom. We'd serve all these Vanderbilt kids, and so there's a group of Vanderbilt kids came in, and then they all ordered fine. They ordered like different stuff, and this one girl was like kept asking me questions. And it's like a busy fucking Saturday night, and everybody wants fucking pizza. I'm just trying to put orders in at this point, and she's like, "Well, what do you think of the mushroom soup?" I'm like, "It's good, it's good." And I feel like when you're busy, you just say everything's fucking good.
Sure.
Like you're just trying to get them to order, get the food,
I like
put it
that.
Oh, I
I
definitely
like
tell
that.
people shit I don't like. for sure.
Same.
Yeah, I have no.
I'm thinking in my head, I would never eat that. You should get it.
How is this? No.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
Yep.
I
I
feel like
wouldn't
it's
do
like
it.
if you give a girl 3 choices, they're gonna be like, well, I don't like any of those choices for
Mhm.
dinner. But
feel like
like,
What's
feel like
your
that's
favorite
anybody.
thing?
Oh my
What should
God.
I get? And you tell them this whole thing. They're like, nah, I'm not gonna get that.
I'm gonna get the
pasta.
but then I'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna come back to you. Go back around the table. I'm like, okay, you got to like order now. And she's like, I don't know what to order. What about this one? And I'm like, okay, look, if you don't know what you want, I'm walking away from this table. And she was like, well, give me just 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm bringing everybody else's food in.
You said that though.
Yeah. In a way.
But you said that, though, right? But you said that.
So anyways, I get all her food out, get their food out. Her friends come back like a couple weeks later. And I'm like, oh, I remember you guys. And they're like, yeah, we remember you too. And they're like, sorry about our friend. And I was like, oh, you remember that whole issue. And then we became friends. I was like, what's her fucking name? I was like, don't ever bring her in. And I don't remember her name now. I think it was like Lisa or something. I was like, just do me a favor, never bring her in. Like, so I have to serve you guys again. They just thought it was hilarious because she does it. Apparently she does that to every restaurant they go to. And they don't like taking her out to places.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't sit with us anymore. Yeah, you can't
This
come
isn't
out with us.
fun.
Yeah, we don't like you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like.
I wouldn't bring out a friend of mine that was doing that bullshit.
No.
way. Or you reprimand them. Like, hey, if you want to come out with us, you can't do that. Sorry.
Have you guys been at tables where like you feel like you could see the table like or the server
Yeah, they're-
frustrated with your friends, and like you have to like wrangle your friends in like, look, motherfuckers, Billy, stop doing that shit, and like I don't know, whoever, like stop doing that shit. Like,
Cedric.
can we order everything?
Cedric.
Cedric, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, you got to rein them in, seriously.
Yeah, you
Because
got-
like friends don't understand what that server is going through. Like you can see them going to 2 other tables and talking to them and what that means and yada yada. But
Like-
Mhm.
Like
You know.
your buddy Tyler, or whatever, is drinking a fucking sweet tea and it's going out of fucking style.
yeah.
Like, like just sucking it down, sucking it down.
Tyler, you're going to get diabetes.
And you say it in the most brutal way.
yeah.
You're gonna get diabetes if you don't stop drinking that tea. I'm so sorry. Stop drinking the tea.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say to the server? Anybody?
Yeah,
Anybody have
yeah,
another
yeah.
request? Stop just sending them back and forth, back and forth. That's probably my biggest pet peeve, to watch a friend just like run a server. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's dude. I hate when other tables do that to me. I'm like, I would be like, do you all need anything else? Anything?
Mhm.
Okay. Can I get a ranch? Oh my! You couldn't have said that like 30 seconds ago.
God, I have the ranch though.
Oh, that's
Come on.
essential, yeah.
God, man.
Especially
they
if
ask
pizza's
for,
involved.
Oh, yeah.
Unsweet tea, and you bring the unsweet tea, and they're like, "Can I get some sweetener?" I'm like, "Fuck, dude."
I've definitely reconditioned my brain that. Yeah, anytime
ask
I get
now,
it, hey,
too.
would you care for any
Me
lemon or
too.
sweetener on the side?
Oh,
Yeah, I do a
absolutely.
cream and sugar with coffee.
Yep.
Oh
I
yeah.
say it every
Mhm.
time.
You're supposed
Every
to bring
time.
it all. Nah, I'm not bringing shit that they're going to waste. Either they
Mhm.
want it or they don't want it.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring it
That's
if
a
they
big
want it.
thing that like
Absolutely.
I feel like when I go out, I get a water and then I get a like let's say a soda or a tea or whatever. And if I suck the soda down, I have the water. But like, I hate when people ask for that and they don't drink the water. They just let it sit there. And then at the end of the table, at the end of the round, it's like, dude, why the fuck did I waste my time bringing this water to you?
9 Diet Cokes, bro.
Yeah, like
you were never gonna drink the water.
Why'd you want the water?
Yeah,
but yeah, with big tables, that's fucking terrible too. I'm glad we don't do like extra, like different sodas and whatnot.
Man, it's interesting. We used to serve the UK basketball team anytime the SEC tournament was in town.
Oh wow!
Oh, dude, these man. It was just a different world. Yeah, it was just a different world that they pretty much get whatever they want, which is, it makes sense because they're players, they're in town for a tournament, you want to feed them and take care of them. But I'd never seen, people get multiple entrees. Like I want 2 16-ounce ribeyes and things like that.
How do you eat that much food in the first place?
Well, these are giant ass motherfuckers.
Dudes,
that are 18, 19, 20, 21 that are capable of putting down a large amount of food, I guess. They're just slanging that meat, boy. They're throwing it down.
now.
Yeah.
Dude.
So we would make custom, because obviously like Roos didn't have lemonade and fruit punch just lying around as far as the soda machine's concerned. So we would custom make pitchers of those drinks for the team.
Yeah.
So it was always interesting to do like custom beverage service for big parties and things like that.
That's fucking terrible.
Well, we started with like trying to just do the beverage service ourselves, and then we realized that was the incorrect way to handle the amount of people that were drinking it. So then we just learned to put the pitchers on the table with those particular items.
Oh,
because they were specialty drinks.
Mm.
Were they good?
No, I mean, in the scheme of it, no.
It was worth asking.
Yeah, like if you're having fruit punch, it needs to come out of like a hole in the wall place. It needs to have
like
sugar and red dye in it. And that's about it.
You're literally in the back pouring Hawaiian punch into a fucking
Tahitian treat, actually. Yep.
Oh well, fucking close enough.
So that's the one.
I do. Like doing that is fucking terrible. And then serving kids, like I'm glad we don't serve as many kids as I've worked at other places where I've had to serve kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because like some parents just don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I went to aquarium when my niece and nephew were in town at the mall, and I'd never been.
What
there.
A blessing!
No, that I just not aquarium, Rainforest Cafe.
Still
Similar,
what a blessing!
Very, very similar, man. I didn't realize the world that place is, and obviously I should have, because it's a kid centered kind of place, but nothing but families running around that bitch, and I like the way some people let their kids behave.
Dude,
I was shocked. Like I couldn't imagine, because I got reprimanded as a child by my folks when we were at a restaurant.
Oh,
you couldn't just do whatever you wanted to do.
Well, also we're not sitting here with fucking iPads like these kids are nowadays.
Well, the thing, they come into where we're at and they act, we don't get a lot of it, but when we do get it, it's like, what the fuck, dude? They act crazy.
That being said, I fucking was serving one of our other coworkers, and she and I were serving on Thanksgiving Day. And this kid literally runs into this room, like screaming and wailing, like, like excited, grabs a wine glass and licks it.
Oh, wow.
Then he grabs a white wine glass, which we put the bottled water in, and licks it.
What a little shit.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And then he starts taking salt and pouring it onto the table, and then like using his fork and knife to like cut the table. I remember
that night.
That's just wild.
Yeah. Then he antagonized every other kid in that room when they were in there, and they're all slapping the blinds. They're all trying to pull the music. They're turning the music all the way up. I had the parents were like, can you turn that music down? You got it really loud. It's like,
I don't have it loud. Your fucking demon child has it loud.
Your kid turned it. I literally watched your kid turn it up. And then they're like turning the fans on, turning the lights off and on. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go fucking crazy.
I don't think I heard that story.
Yeah.
That server and I argued about who was going to take care of him. Because
I was there that night, but I didn't even know that was happening until after.
Because she and I were like, I'm not going back in.
We were like, this is fucking nuts, dude. These people are nuts.
That's just so far off from like myself and my siblings, how we would
Same.
like, there's no way that my parents would ever allow anything remotely close to that to go on if we were
sure.
Oh yeah. My parents were very strict. Like we sat there in complete silence. We weren't allowed to like pinch each other as kids.
No,
like,
dude.
We were getting like
clanking silverware and
literally like you're gonna sit there like a good kid you are and just not say a fucking word.
And I will say like,
nah, just kidding. It wasn't that bad. But
just sit there and be quiet.
Just like enjoy the time being here.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
like,
it's your family time bonding.
I mean, when
Dude,
some
iPhones
parents
and
like-
iPads started coming around, it's like ruined fucking everything.
iPad kids, yep.
Like going,
we see it
you
all the
walk-
time. Or like Switch
Yeah.
at the table or like whatever it is.
Uh-huh,
Something
yeah.
to occupy kid. Yeah.
I mean, I probably
While
took
mom
a
and
Game
dad's
Boy to a Game Boy to like a restaurant or something.
Might
but
have.
like, I didn't play it while my family's sitting there talking.
Mhm.
That's better than them clinking shit though at the same time.
yeah, hell yeah.
Or
They used to
smacking
beat
the
on
glassware.
table.
Did you hear about Taylor Swift weekend here?
Yeah.
Like that last show on Sunday, the weather was terrible.
Oh yeah.
So it was all rain down stuff. So like basically we got stuck with everyone that was going to go to the show
Oh,
because it started raining. So like, oh, we're just not going to leave them. We'll just sit here. And I had this table, and there was these moms and their daughters, and the moms definitely had a few
to drink.
to drink that night, especially because they got stuck there. I kept reopening the tab for them because they were like, we're going to go. And they're like, no, we're not. And they're like, all right, we'll have another espresso martini. But I had another table next to them. And it was like this dude's 80th birthday, this old man. I bring out like a piece of cake with a candle and shit. I light it for him, and all the people at the table next to him, the little girls and stuff, start singing happy birthday. And the dude was just like freaking out.
Sensory overload. Can't handle
Yeah.
it.
I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. And they're like, yeah, dude, what the fuck, man? Like they're getting pissed off. And had to send manager over there, and she had to tell him to shut up because it was just like these 3 moms and like these little girls just like screaming, singing and shit to this old man. It was so funny. The whole
I can see the old guy.
I literally
can't take it
I lit
anymore.
the candle, dropped the cake. I heard him sing. I just like fucking booked it. Bro. I was like,
That's another
Have fun
thing.
with that cake.
Have you guys ever been?
happy
To,
birthday.
have you ever been to Texas Roadhouse when they do the party or the not the party? Jesus, the birthday stuff.
Happy birthday thing.
Bro, it's fucking terrible. So we talked about this on the first episode, but I came from where the first Texas Roadhouse started. And dude, they were absolute wild. They bring a coffee filter. I'm pretty sure it's this place. It could have been Logan's too, but pretty sure it's Texas Roadhouse. They bring a coffee filter and put it on your head, and they're like screaming happy birthday.
fuck
And like
that,
the orange
dude.
is
Yeah, I don't
super
want that
ham. Like the
experience
as
entire
good.
restaurant
No,
knows.
Logan's was like the yeehaw thing, right?
I think
I remember
so.
that because I kind of liked that when I was a little kid.
They
But I'm
did
not
that
singing.
at the Brazilian
No, they didn't
steakhouse.
sing.
They would bring basically like the whole fucking staff would come out. Someone had a drum. 2 people had
Oh.
like shakers. And since like the language of Brazil is like Portuguese, they would sing happy birthday
That's
in
intense.
Portuguese.
That's
So we all
intense.
had a part of like us working there was we had to learn how to sing it. I never learned it. So like, but you just have like everyone in the entire restaurant screaming the song in Portuguese.
So wait, were you mouthing that?
Yeah,
Hold
bro.
on. We're not just gonna like
No, dude.
sneak past that. You like skipped learning the
I would
Portuguese.
sit, I would sit there and I would just go, I would literally just mumble random shit.
God, the things we do to survive.
Yeah,
I
people
love
look
it.
at me and
Yeah,
they're like,
hell
you're not
yeah.
singing the
Being
song.
adaptable.
Like,
I love it.
I'm
Gotta
not. I'm
be.
not singing Cheddars. We sang, but it's like we had to gather people to sing. And I'd be like, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
make sure you don't sing. I won't. that's what they say now. We don't want any attention. All right.
Well, I mean, that's why I like working. Well,
Yeah, it's
not the
cool.
only reason,
It's
but like
cool.
one of them. It's like I'm not fucking singing.
Nah,
Yeah,
dude.
That same party actually that asked for the frozen margaritas. They were like in their profile. They said they wanted me to sing, and I went to our
No, I'm
manager.
surprised by that.
I'm
The
not
same
fucking
party
singing.
that wants the frozen
Yeah,
no, I'm dead
margarita
serious. I'm dead
wants
serious.
the sing-songy birthday. Oh,
It was
no,
so
go
funny
on.
because I
We're
was
getting
like,
Bud Light for
why,
sure.
am I, why am I here tonight? There's only one party and they're asking me to sing to them. I'm not doing it.
Mm.
And then they came in asking about frozen margaritas and like a bunch of different stuff. Like how much is, she showed me a picture of the massive seafood tower. And she's like, how much is this? And I said, 200. And she's like, for what? I was like, well, it's
of
all
this
seafood.
stuff.
You ordered a lot of food.
And she's like, I don't want this. And I was like, well, do you guys want to drink? And that's when they asked about the frozen margaritas. And they're like, you don't have blenders? I was like, no, ma'am, we do not. I can do it on rocks. And she was like, well, give us a minute. And then they walked out. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
what the
bye.
Hmm.
I'm just like,
That's lame.
I'm not singing. I'm not doing that. I refuse.
I'm never sang for a table ever.
I mean, I
Ever.
have. I mean, not like real
suck,
singing, so to
dude.
speak. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm ass
Yeah.
at vocals, but I'll get them going for sure.
Well, I've tried. I'll like start it.
Yeah,
And then I'm like,
you
all right,
tail
you guys
off and you
got
walk
this.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, while they finish, for sure.
Sneaking out.
I've
You're
done
like,
that. I've done that.
Mhm.
For sure.
Sneak out like act 2.
Yeah, yeah.
you know? All right, you guys can take it to the finale, if you so to speak.
If you will.
We had this
Goodbye and I love you.
Well, you remember him. We had this server that worked, and he loved singing.
Oh yeah,
He would let the entire restaurant know that he was singing "Happy Birthday."
Mhm.
I was about to say,
Fun
actually,
stuff.
I definitely work with this. Did you ever get to work with this
I don't-
man? That shit was wild because you get the real deal. And I remember the first night I worked with him, and there were like 2-3 tables left. We were on table side, and all of a sudden, this man starts singing. I was just like, what in the fuck is going on
Happy
right now?
birthday, like really getting it.
No,
you know?
like-
No, and he's not
It's
even
funny
like.
you
good,
even
though.
sing it that way because it was very very similar. It was like more of an artsy way to sing
Okay,
happy
okay.
birthday, not like a traditional way.
He
And it
wasn't
was
even an
surprising
artist
to me.
either, though. Like he wasn't a music person. He just would do it, and he sounded really good.
Yeah, but he let the whole
Exactly.
restaurant, even the
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
could hear him. Like, oh my god! All right, well that person's singing.
Hmm.
It's like Jesus, because I didn't know if you worked with him at the time. I know Matt and I did.
Yeah.
But he was actually really good at serving parties and remembering their orders without writing it down.
Insane.
You know who also does that? Your boy right
No,
here.
the fuck you don't.
I'll show you. Shit, I'll show you my server pad right now. The bitch is empty.
You really?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, okay. Now, in fairness, if it's complicated, like if there are multiple salads with multiple mods, multiple entrees with multiple mods, I'll make a couple.
You're like,
notes.
time to get out the pen.
Uh-huh.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a line. It's like, okay, now it's
The
getting
first
too
person's
much.
like, I need to get this week. Like, all right, let's go.
Oh yeah, but I mean, most of the parties that are easy,
I mean, I could probably do
Yeah.
it with the 2 top. I've done it with the 4 top, but like, I don't know, with food like ours, I couldn't do it with.
Four's
Jimmy
my
Max,
max.
I
most
could.
Four's
people
my
getting,
max
like,
Yeah,
for
I could
sure.
do
Me
four.
personally, yeah.
So one of the fillets, one of the ribeyes, one of the strips, like they're just getting some form of entree for the most part, and then a super salad. Like if it's
Mhm.
no mods,
It's pretty
Like,
easy to remember at our
yeah.
restaurant. Yeah.
I feel like nothing's terribly crazy as far as just like
What's
what I
your
started
maximum
to do.
number of people though? If they make it easy.
Oh, if it's easy, easily 10 to 12.
It's cool,
Oh.
man.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I could do it with definitely 4. I've done it with probably like 6, but at an easier restaurant where they can only get 2 sides. And if I fuck it up, I fuck it up. It's like, I can go get you the fries or whatever I didn't get.
So that's part that, like, that's where I'll also kind of push my ego to the side where if I know that it's getting too much, I won't gamble fucking up an order.
Yeah, yep.
And
Yeah.
I'll definitely either write it down or go back to him and say,
Have
hey,
you ever done it? Have you ever fucked it up? 'Cause I definitely have.
Probably. Oh, yeah, actually recently, because we had a conversation about mashed potatoes, but they ended up changing it. And I still punched mashed potatoes instead of hash browns. So that was a recent mistake for sure. And that was only on a 3 top. Like that was on something that was supposed to be a walk in the park.
It's always the easy one.
Yeah, it was amateur hour.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Well, that was like yesterday. He was working in the morning with me, and I feel bad because I got to a point where I was like, I just need a fucking Shirley Temple, bro. Like this lady's driving me crazy.
I love that.
That's the remedy. Okay, right on.
No,
Bro, I gotta-
to bring to someone.
Yeah, to bring to someone.
Oh, I thought it was a remedy as well. Bro, I had a massive hangover. Just-
I'm in wheeze. I need a Shirley Temple cover.
Take
I was
this-
like,
take
what?
this, my
I just need a Shirley.
Check
The
behind your
blender
ear.
fucking turns on in the background. Yeah.
Shirley Temple. Here you go.
Check under your hat, bro.
Holy give me. Oh no, dude! I just had I had parties, and then like
Those people were whack, man.
They were gonna
They
give
were
him
whack.
that table, and he was like, "No, I don't want it. Can you take it?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'll take it," because it was 2 of his tables, 1 of my tables, so it just made more sense for me to take it. And they end up being
His
like
table
6
wasn't getting up, so they were going to move them into mine section. And I was like, I'm not going to take your table if it's for you. So you just took it.
So I got a 10 top which had kids, which is fucking terrible. That kid would just like get out of the chair and just start booking it.
My
Fucking
favorite
terrible.
with
That
kids
y'all
is
had these children there because in my experience, the kids I've had have been generally fantastic.
I would say that too at this restaurant compared with other restaurants. You did say that earlier.
100%,
Yeah, like
yeah.
the kids at this restaurant are very well behaved
follow,
for
you're
the most
speaking
part.
broadly.
Yeah. So like, well, I
Gotcha.
mean, yesterday there
Here
really
as
was
well.
a kid that was like running around this restaurant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mother's Day. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it was
sure.
Mother's Day.
fucking kids in there.
So, anyways, so it was just fucking
Moms
terrible.
and their
like,
kids.
everybody's wanting to split things, and then I got sat with another table.
Celebrating their moms.
Celebrating
Stupid
the
idiots.
fucking
Celebrating
how they
their
brought them
moms
into
are
the
so
world.
happy that their moms had them.
All those fucking vaginas sink. All the ovaries aligning.
That's right.
Shit's wild. The
that's right, man.
matriarchal parties.
Kids are running to their
Was it a-
moms. I love you, mom.
Disgusting.
But I had that 10 top, And then I had another 6 top, and then I had a 4 top or 3 top, which honestly, I didn't even know they got sat. I had no fucking clue for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm just not here today. Like I never work
You're not an idiot, bro.
Sunday mornings.
Don't say that.
Well, I tell them to table to make them feel better. So anyways.
It's a manipulative tactic, if you will.
No, but seriously, like I was like, I don't even know.
Gaslight.
I was like, I don't even know how I missed you as a table. Whoever made the section was terrible.
I do that all the time, bro.
But I was like, all right, we're to get through this. And then that whole debacle with your table going to my tables and like it was just crazy. And then I got sat with this one last 4 top and I was like, dude, I thought I was done after this one table. And then just shit went south real quick. Like everybody was like, I need to pay out now.
Separate,
and like
separate, all this stuff.
Everything's separate. Like I was just like fucking terrible.
Always.
And then because I felt bad, I was at the computer trying to get everybody cashed out. I was like, Matt, dude, I need a Shirley Temple. And he was like, to where? And I was like, to 52. And he's like, okay, to where? To what? Like,
you yelled it though across the, it was like across the restaurant.
Shirley Temple.
I've been. He goes, Matt. I was like, popped my head open by the bar. I need a Shirley Temple. I'm like, cool. Where? 52. Where?
I was like 52. And I was like, I mean, seat 2.
And I had gotten like 8.
There's 8 children at the table.
I know.
They all have Shirley
No, they were
Temples.
adults. That was the funny part.
Okay.
But I had gotten so many Shirley Temples that morning. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, I was finally done. And this dude had,
it was like the fucking.
yeah, I was like, fuck.
It was terrible. But
Yeah.
The last one Matt served, he was like, this will be the last one today.
And then he's like,
it really was, dude. It really was. I was like,
Fine, I'll make another one.
they've already had 6 each. They can't get another one.
Yeah, he was like, he came back. He's like, but I was at the computer. He's like, ringing a gimlet. I was like, thanks, dude.
This episode brought to you by
I
Sprite
was so done with
and
that
maraschino cherries.
whole day, though.
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
Dumb, dude. Like, he's so dumb.
Yeah, I bet.
Because then she goes, tell Marcus we want a gimlet. I'm like, they want a gimlet. After I dropped the Shirley Temple off, ringing a gimlet for that lady. Like,
I was like, thanks, dude. Fuck. I'm over it. I'm ready to go home. But yeah, I've been at other places serving like big parties on like Mother's Day, for example. And it's fucking Father's Day. Dude, Father's Day at a barbecue restaurant is the worst fucking day to work.
That makes sense.
Because every fucking dude known to
Checks
man
out.
wants to get the meat.
yep.
Well, there's just like certain days at like Cinco de Mayo at a Mexican restaurant,
Oh, terrible.
New Year's Eve at any restaurant, but
I've had mixed things about
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
yeah, that's
Depends
fair.
on where you are,
That's
like
fair.
where your restaurant's located.
Not at a steakhouse, probably on New Year's Eve.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Roos got smashed on New Year's
That makes
Eve.
sense.
And I will
Smashed
say,
that
like,
one
some
year
of the best
too.
nights were
Yeah.
always on New Year's Eve there.
Mhm.
Because no one prepares for it, and then all of a sudden people are out, and they're like, let's go get it.
Dude, I think I made like
steak.
over $1,000 in the booth on
Oh,
New
yeah,
Year's
that's a
Eve.
good night. Yeah.
Very nice.
In the booth?
Oh, okay, well, especially because you're not running an SA too. Oh, bro.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's a
had
great
I
night.
ran an essay. I had to, but
that's
still.
not as ideal then.
But I mean, I think I walked.
But
with
yeah,
like
obviously,
800.
great. Yeah, I mean that's still
Still.
a good night. Yeah, you're sending 70 taxes.
we talked about it on the first episode, but that one of my last tables, they had not said a word to me. That got them like a tomahawk and 2 sea basses, and then like a month and a half later, the managers come up to me just openly bitching and be like, I can't believe this customer.
yep.
I can't believe this customer came in and or emailed corporate and bitched about their sea bass and blah blah blah. And I was like thinking to myself, that sounds really familiar. And I was like, who had that table? And they're like, well, let's go see. And I go back there with them. They're like, look at me. They're like, you had that table. And I was like, I fucking know exactly who that table is. I was like, but they tipped me good. They gave me a good tip, and they just didn't say they literally didn't say anything to me. So I can't.
Did you quality check them?
What do you mean? Like the 2 minute 2 bite?
2 by 2 minute?
Oh, absolutely. I was there.
Oh yeah, I mean if they don't say anything, then yeah, it's
I got them. So I got them concrete
It's not 2 bites, 2
wine.
minutes, right? It's
Yeah.
like 1 minute, one.
No, it's
bite.
2
Well,
bites.
I mean, technically,
Well,
it's an open gauge. I mean, if they're talking and they don't touch their food for 5 minutes, I mean,
That's
then
true.
technically you can't. Like, if they haven't bitten
Yeah.
into it, how do you know if it's good or
Like
not?
you
That's
walk
true.
up and they're like,
Literally haven't touched it.
We
It's
haven't
like,
even
well,
touched
I'll
it yet,
come
but
back.
it looks good. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool.
Great, I'll see you in a couple minutes.
Yep.
I usually, I walk by because I've done it too many times. Be like, walk up, like, how's it tasting over here? Oh, you haven't even touched it. Okay, I'm an idiot.
And then 20
Right,
minutes
yeah,
goes by.
yeah, and then, yeah, the feeling of that's not ideal.
But anyways, yeah, I corked. I got him a wine like a 2016, and the cork fell apart,
Mm.
and I didn't know it, so I didn't have a screen on when I decanted the wine.
Oh,
Rookie mistake.
yeah.
Tough.
And so I had to go
Rookie.
get another decanter and decant it with the screen. I was like, I'm so stupid. Like, I can't believe I didn't even see it until I started swirling the decanter. I'm like, oh, I can see the.
Clearly,
That
there's
sucks that
cork in there.
2016, yeah, crumpled on you though.
Yeah, that is crazy, actually.
It was concrete, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, concrete. Yeah,
concrete.
okay,
I don't
yeah.
know. Like, does that? I think it's just
See what
cork
I
just deteriorates, right?
Yeah, but that's not that old.
Yeah,
that's just
in the
crazy.
scheme of events, yeah,
it's
if it was
not
a
that
08,
Mhm.
05, 04, I feel like that.
Oh, what's that tool called that you use to pull like broken corks out?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I've had it like break off midway, kind of
Yeah,
unscrewing the cap or whatever. And you just you can usually get it going again, but it's tough, especially if it's pretty crumbly. But, 04 bottles, you're right, for sure.
But man, it's
Early
interesting you bring
2000s.
up the large parties and like the coming of age and were you nervous and things like that. Because actually, I remember vividly the worst experience I had as a new server was serving my first bottle of Opus. And when I did the tasting, I fucked up the twist and dumped. I don't even know how much in sense of money wise
Oh, no.
Opus onto the
And
table.
for the
Dude,
people that are
yeah,
listening
yeah.
and watching, how much is that bottle of Opus one?
It's
Oh,
different
at that
everywhere.
place, yeah. I mean, at that place, I think that one was a $550 bottle.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've
So
seen
ours
it
is what
sold
sold
as
it.
high
If
as
you're like- if you're
750
a
Yeah,
now.
I was about to
Yeah.
say. I mean, there's a range. Bottom end's probably 4. Top end's probably 9,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah.
where you're at.
That first time that someone orders it, though, you're like, "Oh shit,
Opus
I'm
one.
fucking."
well, yeah,
what?
especially just because it's an expense. Like on
Well,
paper,
exactly,
it's expensive, and if you
Yeah.
haven't sold that, then it's like, oh shit, like this is. I don't say it's a new level necessarily, but it's an area that, as far as sales are concerned, that you necessarily haven't done yet.
You're like, I can't fuck
Especially
this
as a
up.
brand new fine
Yeah.
dining server,
Mhm.
man, and you fuck that up, and now the table, like, there's no hiding it. Like you
Yeah,
can go
it's
a
get
white
other
tablecloth.
linen
You're
and
gonna
shit
see
like
it.
that.
You
But
spilled
there's
their Opus.
instant like this. You're wrong. You fucked this up.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Dude,
And the dude was it was a date night. It was a deuce, and he was mad reasonable considering what happened. And I
I mean-
acknowledged it. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I just dumped. I don't even know how much money on the table.
You kind of have to own that one, and that's fine.
Mhm.
That's how
hell
you get
yeah.
through it.
I mean, any of the like, if I fuck something up, I'm definitely good about taking ownership of.
Yeah.
As far
dude,
as the table's
I am
concerned.
now. I never used to be. I used to blame it on the kitchen. I remember one time I blamed the entire. I forgot to bring the food in. And I blamed it all on the
yeah.
kitchen, at Cheddar's, and so the manager's boyfriend or something.
probably pretty believable at Cheddar's.
He worked in the
Sorry.
kitchen, and but she yelled at me for not taking the blame, and she's like, "You just blamed the kitchen. The kitchen didn't do anything."
Mhm.
She's like, "This is bullshit. Like, you need to take the blame for that." And I was like,
Nah,
I
dude.
mean, I'm not doing that. I don't care.
You're like, I take the blame when the kitchen fucks up anyway.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
I've covered the kitchen a
Yeah,
lot,
especially
for
this,
sure.
this level. No
Yeah,
doubt.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And when
most of
you're
the time,
at-
it's not my fault. It literally is. It's their fault.
Now at this level, for sure. Most of the time, it's not. I feel like front of house fault. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times, I have stuff kind of messed up or whatever. But
yeah, I always try to take the blame. I'm like, look, I'm an idiot.
For
Sorry.
sure.
Like
Same.
this, I forgot to. I put everything on hold one time for a 6-top, and I literally was like, "Dude, it's getting busy." I'm like, "Where the fuck is my food?"
Where's this food at right
Yeah,
now?
literally, where's my fucking food?
shit.
And I go back to the kitchen. I was like, "There's no fucking ticket." I look back on the computer to make sure, like, I wasn't gonna look like a moron.
Sure. And it's just
It's sure as shit that table's blinking. I'm like, motherfucker.
never sent it.
Never sent it. So luckily the kitchen had like little 2-top table before it, and I rang that shit in. It came out in like 10 minutes,
Mm.
and I'm like, "Look, guys, I'm so sorry. I just put your food on hold to pace it out for you, and I forgot to
You
send
got to
it."
have a little like honesty, but also finesse.
Yeah,
Oh,
Like, you know,
100%.
There's a
always
line.
be honest and be like, but always finesse it too at the same time.
Mhm.
yeah. Like
Gotta do it, man.
I'm not gonna blame it on like the kitchen not making it, because like
Yeah.
if the manager would have walked back there, he'd be like, "Why'd you blame it on the kitchen?" If they complained. But usually the table's pretty, like, especially at a place like where we
Yeah.
work at.
They can get out quick.
They can
too,
get
you
out
know.
quick, but
You-
they
you can
also
bandage it up,
understand.
bandage the
Like, but
situation.
if you're at Chili's and you forgot to fucking bring in their food, it's like people are losing their fucking mind.
I
Where's
bet.
my crispers?
Where's
my honey
crispers?
Chipotle crispers?
I hate it when
I know this is
can't
my
even
seventh,
lie.
dude,
Like,
they're so good.
If I go to Chili, like, I can't tell you the last time I've been there.
good.
But
chips
if
and
I do
salsa.
go,
They're
that's
so
that's
good.
what I'm getting.
I'll be
No,
honest,
every time.
I hate Chili's. I hate Chili's. I hate Applebee's.
No, I
Hot
mean I
take.
get it. Yeah, because because of where we live, there's so many different options for food.
Yep.
So why necessarily go for a corporate?
So true.
Sometimes
That's when
it's
you're
good
in the
to
middle of
escape that.
nowhere and
Sure.
yeah,
Take it back to the stomping ground, you know?
Someone
What?
almost
What
had
is
me
it?
go get Waffle House on a Sunday afternoon when I was sober, and I was like, I've never actually had Waffle House in this format. Like, if it's Sunday morning, I would normally go to brunch like at a normal brunch place. I wouldn't go to Waffle House as my first.
Absolutely.
Right now,
Church.
if this was 2 a.m., it'd be totally different.
Sure. Different conversation.
Dude, I love Waffle House. Like, I
Same,
love their
bro.
sober. I don't even care.
Smothered and covered, baby. I'll tell you that now.
I get it, but there's just too many other options to me to
Yeah.
necessarily go that route when I have choices. When I'm hammered and nothing's open, Waffle House is obviously the answer, and it smacks every time.
Oh,
Undoubtedly.
100%.
Hermitage Cafe used to be the spot in Nashville
man,
for sure.
you
know, I never went there.
Late night.
Never
RIP.
went there.
Seriously.
Oh, bro,
It was
yeah.
you missed out. It was great. It was just like well, not just like Waffle House. I think it was better actually. It was
Well,
good.
it was a local.
yeah, exactly. Just diner.
Yeah, it was local. Dining.
Now they have all day diners, right? But it's like nice all day diners, like Hearts, like Dose. Like I'm trying to think of something else. I
Dude,
don't know.
what was that spot down off West End? Can't think of the fucking name of it. It was in the house and they were open like 20
not Marche.
I
That's in
can't-
East
I
Nashville.
can't
Cafe
remember.
Coco?
Cafe Coco.
Cafe
That's
Coco.
it.
Dude, I love Cafe
I've been trying
Coco.
to think of the name of it for weeks
They
now.
closed it back in like 2016
Yeah.
when they redid all that area.
Is it not back
No, it-
open?
it was
I think it's
open.
still open.
Is
It
it?
was
I think it's back
but I
open.
think they closed it. I think they're closed again.
Wait,
Like,
so y'all are tripping me out because I
It's
thought that was off of Elliston.
It's off of
Elliston.
Yeah, I didn't know that place
It's
closed
right,
at all.
right by
to
Hurdy
be
Back.
fair.
Right by Hurdy
Oh, yeah,
Back
I know
and
exactly where
Exodus.
it is,
Yep,
yeah.
right down that
I
little
didn't
Oh,
realize
yeah.
that place closed.
Dude, Cafe Coco was
Yeah.
like popping,
slapped.
man. You could go there all night long.
Yeah, it was
And
open
get
24
whatever.
hours.
Get food.
Yeah,
They had
it was
so
cool.
much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We used to go there after like shows and stuff when I first
Exit
moved
in
here.
and the end and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we would
yeah,
walk
the
right
end.
over there.
Dude. Golly. The rock
Yeah, Cafe
block.
Coco.
Man, R.I.P. Old Nashville.
Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Exit in still gonna be a thing though.
It
yeah,
is.
it is.
Yeah, they're
Very
just
nice.
got new management buying it out or taking control of it. I used to love that spot, man.
Shout out Coco if y'all are still alive. I
Dude.
don't know if Cafe Coco's still. I think they're still going. I don't know.
But did you ever work at a brunch spot?
Well, so you got my day job obviously on the weekends is a major brunch powerhouse.
Mm.
How do you still do the same? Do
Yes.
you remember all your orders?
Oh, that place. Yeah, that place too. So some of the 10s and 12s, they're no. All right, so Taylor Swift weekend, they did 149,000 on Friday and 151,000 on Saturday.
It's,
Oh my!
it's a cute spot. That is the
Well, it's-
demographic.
it's like
You know what I
So
mean?
it was interesting when we were talking about
Right.
bachelorette parties, like that is what that place is known
Known for.
for.
Well, yeah, it's
in
a-
particular, at another place.
That
Right
right
on-
spot, yeah.
Yeah,
right
on
on
first.
first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just in the area of Ascend.
Uh-huh.
And so Monday through Thursday, it's its own place as far as it's a solid lunch spot. Like the food, how fast the kitchen is. I've never, as far as restaurants are concerned, I've never seen a kitchen or a restaurant operate in this fashion. It's one of the best places. The weekends, it shifts into a totally different world due to the brunch menu. Now, as a consumer, I love brunch. I love going to brunch. I totally understand why as a consumer. I will never, like, I've worked a brunch there. I will not work, like, I don't work brunches there.
Oof.
The clientele is worse.
Yeah.
The menu to me, like, everyone loves it's one, like, at one point it's voted best brunch in Nashville.
Oh,
But to me, the food is ass. It's
Mhm.
terrible. And
Yep.
and when my boss asked me, like, why I didn't want to work brunch, I told him, I was like, because our food sucks. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, our brunch food is terrible and I wouldn't eat it. He was like, you're not being serious. I was like, why do you think I'm lying to you right now?
Mm.
I'm 100% serious.
I wouldn't just say that.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'm not
like,
just gonna
our
be a-
lunch menu is far superior
Mm.
to our brunch menu. Why would I want to have a worse clientele, come in earlier, leave later, and sell food I
yeah,
don't want to
it
sell?
sounds
Ran
fucking
out-
terrible.
Now, the upside is you're going to run through 14, okay, maybe 1,000 to 1,400 people in a day there on,
Dude,
on a
that's-
Saturday.
That's insane.
It's a
Oh,
lot.
the numbers they do are crazy. And that part's unlike anywhere else in that.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
Too, just
But that's not necessarily, as far as like the working side of it, that's not what I would like to. I don't want to spend my Saturday morning like that or my Sunday
No,
morning
dude.
like that.
Dude, just waking up on a Saturday morning and like just busting your sweet ass off and sweating all day long. I wouldn't want to do that either.
Bro, when COVID was going on in Nashville was one of the first places to sort of reopen.
Mm-hmm.
While we were there, right, the mayor had the rule about how you couldn't have any more than 8 in a party.
Yep.
Like that was the health code rule as far as Metro Davidson County, Nashville was concerned. Man, we had bachelorettes coming in. We're from Miami. Let's push the tables together.
Yeah.
No, sorry, you can't do that. What do you mean we can't do that? Arguing with us over a 10 top and shit like that. It's like, I have zero control over
This
what
is
the
not
government
me.
is doing.
Literally. I've
But
said
if
it
they
before.
come in, they will shut us down hypothetically. So that's why we can't allow. I don't
Yeah.
want to ruin your trip. I don't give a fuck about what you guys are doing necessarily, but I can't let you push these together and do this technically.
We
now.
had problems with that too at Martin's where I worked, with people wanting to push tables together, and we had to explain to them like, hey, the government. They're like, but yeah, you're an open state, blah blah blah. I'm like,
Dude,
it's
no.
not completely open, you fucking moron.
We'll go somewhere else. We'll just go somewhere else.
Okay.
Cool. It's going to be the same thing.
Right. And some places are
In the
less
city,
accommodating.
like,
actually.
believe me, I would love. I can't.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
when the bars were closed, like the physical bar was closed, but you could still like sit at tables, you sit it outside. It was interesting to watch restaurants trying to adapt around that to where they
Yeah.
put a table right beside the bar.
Yep.
And then put seats around the table,
Yep,
and then
yep.
it's not
Oh my
bar
God,
seating.
Yes.
A lot of technical
Bar-
hair
the
splitting
bar
went on,
seating,
for
yes.
sure.
Right.
Yep.
And it's just like, all right, if we're going to, like, I don't mind doing this, but as far as getting consistency between the counties and then subsequently the states and then the nation as a whole, it was just a wild fucking time to be in restaurants and then
Dude.
having people
was.
traveling
Yeah, it was, man.
because
100%.
we were a major tourist destination. So,
Then they're bringing
We
their
also-
families, cousins, like brothers, sisters,
Or
fathers,
better.
cousins.
But then you go 15 minutes out of Nashville, different county.
different
Everything's
rules.
open till 3 or 2. And
Oh, yeah.
like they
Dude,
also
Franklin
don't give
County
a
was
fuck,
getting
dude.
pounded.
Smyrna, Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it
A
called?
Tin Roof closed.
Tin Roof, dude.
They got shut
Tony's,
down
Yeah,
for a
Tony's
little
Tin
bit.
Roof. Yeah, all the like
Wow.
right over there in Franklin.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah,
at the
man,
time.
that's
I
where
didn't
we would
even
go.
realize it.
That there is Smyrna. That Chili's. That's why I love
Wild.
Chili's. The Chili's in Smyrna would
Pop off.
Man,
They
shout
pop
out
off,
to
bro.
Smyrna, man.
dude.
Sullivan's
Shout
out there. In that,
Chili's,
that-
dude. Yes.
Shout out to Smyrna.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
The first time I
bro.
ever went there, my homie and I were shooting pool. We had a dude come up to us. He was like, "What do you got that I'm buying? Or what do you want that I'm selling?"
Dude.
And I was like, "What the fuck are you
Whoa,
talking about?" He's
dude.
like, "I got hard or I got ice." And I was like, "What?"
Shit.
And I realized
dude.
I was like, "Damn, this man's talking about crack and fucking meth. He wants to sell me." It's like, "Or I got tabs." And I
Bro.
was like, "Well, damn, bro. Like, well, we just want to shoot a game of pool, my dude. I'm not trying to rail
It's a
lines
Tuesday
and
night,
meth off of
brother.
this, bro. Like for real though, it was weeknight, very casual.
guys gotta eat.
But
Gotta eat
we
somewhere.
gotta hustle out here.
I had the same exact thing happen at Sullivan's. I was sitting at the bar and this dude walks up. He's like, "What's up, man?" And I was just like, "What's up?" Dude looks like a cop. I thought it was a cop. And he's like, he just slid over like a 5 gum pack with a baggie, and he's like, "Go test this out. Let me know what you think." And I was like, "No,
Nah, I'm good.
Nah,
I appreciate
nah,
you.
not
No.
doing that."
no.
But yeah, my first time there, that happened to me.
Dude,
And
that,
he
that
literally
place
looks
is
like a
just
cop,
another
bro.
world.
Mm-hmm. It is, man.
And essentially, like I've seen a bunch of different places. I've been to a bunch of different places across this Middle Tennessee area,
Same.
and that place is definitely a fascinating little hole in the wall.
It's always packed,
Um,
man. Always packed.
But man, the regulars out there, I'm
Dude.
sure the money it's got to be flowing.
It is, man. It's a good spot.
Singles got to be getting through, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Sullivan's.
They're
knew?
like, I'm like, can
Shout
I
out
get
Sellers.
this? And they're like, no, you can't. All right. And they just,
Cool.
it's a fun spot.
Mm-hmm. No, man, I've had parties every time I've been out there. No doubt.
Great food.
I feel like the delivery thing became a lot
haven't
more
gone that far
too
technically.
Yeah,
but-
the delivery thing was a
during
thing
COVID,
too.
right? Yeah,
During
like
COVID.
and Uber, like not that they already didn't have a huge market share, but I feel like it probably got even more during that time, right?
Definitely.
These different
I mean,
restaurants,
that
like
that was another thing at like Martin's. It got so fucking insane with like deliveries and like we were serving, like we were packing up food for like
Mhm.
fucking 15 people, 20 people, and they were like, we don't want to pay for the catering. We just want the food and just we'll take it. And it's like, all right, fuck it, here you go.
Dude, Uber Eats probably organized COVID for business.
it definitely helped the stock a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a great-
for sure.
that's a
I
great
bet. And just the company in
conspiracy
general. Yeah.
It's true though, dude. Like my restaurant, we never did any of that stuff. None of these fine dining places ever did any Uber Eats or DoorDash. And the second COVID hit, they're like, we need to make money.
I mean,
on
I feel
stuff,
like everybody
which is good.
did
It's
that.
smart too, though.
It was good for the restaurants too. It kind of worked out for
no,
everybody.
for sure.
Except for
everyone
servers
made-
who had to do extra work and
Yeah.
didn't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, though, we like where I was at, we just went to tip pool, and everyone pooled.
Oh wow.
Yeah, most
And
most
it was
places
all
did that.
Uber, it was all Eats orders, all
Yeah.
bar, all and skeleton crew. They would just run whoever, and we would pool everything. And then once stuff died off, it went back to normal.
Yeah, I feel
We
like
went
during,
back to our
during
normal
COVID,
stuff.
it was the restaurant workers and the health workers that
Mhm.
were really had jobs, and
Yep.
then that's when we started figuring out Zoom and all this like online bullshit
Mhm.
of how to get everybody back in the office essentially.
Yeah.
But I feel like we were like, they're like, fuck you guys, we didn't want food, like go give us food and
Yeah.
be sick just in case. And
Not necessarily essential, but kind of essential. Service
Front
workers,
lines,
you know
front
what I mean?
lines.
For
We're
sure.
definitely
Yeah,
Frontline
like,
employees, yeah.
people
And
are
that's
gonna
a whole
be eating
nother-
out, man.
People
Like,
at the medical field are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
literally, that's a whole nother conversation for
I don't care
itself.
about the hospital. I want my Big Mac to go.
Literally. It's a whole nother conversation. But serving big parties definitely is just sucks. I
Good
I
and
like
bad,
it.
Good and bad.
There is good and bad for sure.
Good and bad.
The ones that are good are like, oh shit, this is real good. Like they make it so easy on you. But the ones that are fucking terrible, you're just like, I don't care if you don't tip me a fucking dollar. Just get out of my face. Because I'm done with this entire interaction.
Man, it's interesting how you talk about some are good, some are bad, because in the spectrum of parties, the best tips in the world, like I guess I've gotten an outright stiffing $0, you know, is one thing, but as far as just working a whole night for one group and still then getting stiffed is kind of just a different thing than just
Yeah.
having one or two table stiff.
You're
You
like,
say,
That
what
really
the
does.
fuck?
Oh, yeah, it's the
in
worst.
the spectrum of it, my first $1,000 tip was not a private dining. It was an 18 top. I was running by myself. They had
Whoa.
an $1,800 tab, and they tipped me $1,000 on it.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was awesome.
Yeah.
On the other end, I was running what was supposed to be a 20 top, where only 11 people showed. 9 of them were children,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and the bill ended up being, actually I lied, 12 showed, 9 were kids. There were 3 adults there in total. Their bill was around like $860 or $880 or something like that, and I got $5.35 on it.
dude, I would
No
be
flat,
fucking
nothing?
livid.
Well, yeah, so they did an autograt, yeah.
That's
So
fucked.
that was my, like, that's what
Yeah.
I came into work. I came into work at private dining, which was his birthday party, right? And so that was what I worked for. My night was,
Yep.
so it was all in, it was cash, which was nice, but the downside was $3 was in loose change, and then $2 bills.
I mean,
So it was
I-
like, dang, I have heavier pockets walking out of this
Yeah,
bitch
yeah.
now, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
I'll
shit
call
like,
NES and tell them that they loved me.
shit like that is just
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
terrible. That's why I feel like serving big parties can be great, but also just it's every table is a gamble, especially in the industry that we work in. And it's like everybody's like, oh, we could go do a different job. It's like, no, we do this for good reason, and it's like we expect you to pay for us, or not pay for us, but like tip us for our work and being good to you and like helping you get everything that you need to get.
Mhm.
Not just being your servant and then be like, you don't deserve $1. That's the government's paying you. That's fine.
Sure.
It's not how it's supposed to work. But I mean, that being said, we're going to continue to serve big ass parties.
Mhm.
We're going to do it. I mean, I'm always going to take a big party. I'd rather take big parties than small parties anyway.
It's nice to just have like, yeah, 1 or 2 big tables. That's your whole night. That's your
100%.
focus.
I'd
A
rather
lot
have
of places
two.
too have Alex mentioned autograt. Like a lot of places have that
Mhm.
only for bigger parties, right? Like over a certain amount of people. Like at some restaurants I've been at, it's like 8 or more people get an autograt, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
It's contracted if it's above a certain amount. It's
yeah.
a private. You have to actually.
Which
yeah.
I personally like. I'm okay with never autogratting,
Me too.
which I know
Me
is
too.
Me
which
too.
I know is the gamble.
It's a big gamble. Could be big though. Could be good
Usually it
money.
works out.
I
Usually
think
it works
so.
out.
But
yeah, in my experience as well.
In long term, I feel like I would rather give people the service that I can give them,
Yes,
and then hope
yeah.
that they
Oh,
are willing
hope they
to
tip you.
compensate
Yeah.
me,
Absolutely.
rather than just auto assigning. I'm getting 18 from everybody,
Yep.
no matter what.
Mhm.
Because then they could also give you more.
Because then they don't really,
Yeah,
Because
like-
then, and everyone's like, well, if they want to give you more, they will. Which some do. but
Sometimes.
sometimes that is
Yeah.
true. But most of the time, if they see, hey, they'll say, hey, is gratuity included? Yeah, it is. I'd rather say no, it's not. It's whatever you feel left to lead
Mhm.
or led to let.
Led to
Led
leave.
to
Yeah, led to leave. Sure.
leave
Yeah.
to let lead.
Leave to let lead.
I'm gonna
Let
leave
it on
it
a
on the
shirt.
table for them, so they leave it on the table for me later. Basically, the signature
Yeah,
with them up.
yeah.
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 My
I mean, it's
dick.
always a gamble for sure. But I mean, like you said, like we all said, we're still going to continue to serve big parties and not get
Mhm.
autograts. But like on like massive parties, that's when we do the autograt, because like it's like when your bill's $7,000, you don't trust that you're going to leave whatever 20% of 7,000 would be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't trust you doing that.
Which do you know what that is off top?
No.
Hmm.
I went
What?
to school.
$1,400 is
Yeah.
20%. Is that what you're saying?
So
On $7,000? Is that
Yeah,
what
it'd
we're
be
doing?
20%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be 10%.
I can
The way
always
to
do
do it is-
20% of everything.
Yeah,
I got that number
yeah.
up there. Sorry.
I'm that bottom line. But in theory, you want whole numbers though. If
Yeah.
you get a nice whole number from somebody.
Yeah.
Shout out my dude, my old man Ray, the old black dude that I served tables with.
Yeah, he told you about round numbers, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he was like, everyone here worries about sales and percentages. He's
It's
like,
not
you don't
about
want to
that,
do that.
dude.
He was like, you want to get a whole number from somebody. I was
Nice.
like, oh, okay.
Well, that makes sense.
He was like, if you get a $200 tab and you get $100 from him, that's a whole number.
Nice.
He's like, I don't care if it's 50%. He was like, it's a whole number.
Yep.
Like,
Nice.
you're right. Yeah, fuck yeah. That was the only dude as a food runner that I ever saw could get money out of people's pockets.
Mm.
People would palm him a $50 bill, $100 bill.
And that shit's impressive in
amazing.
itself.
Oh,
Dude,
dude, as a food runner with
As
a
a food
very
runner?
small limited you have 10 to 20 seconds at a table,
Yep.
maybe.
You got 20 seconds to give me $20 or else.
Mm-hmm. I've
No.
been tipped like in the bathroom before. Like they thought I was like doing something, you know, like, you know, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You squirt soap in
Suck
their
your
hand.
dick for money in the bathroom.
Like, you
Hell
just
yeah.
like you hand them the things. Like,
It's
here you
worse
go,
than that.
sir.
I'm like, I'm just like washing my hands. And he's like,
You're like, I have
I see
gum.
you
I didn't
getting
do anything
clean
for
over
him.
there for me, boy.
Yeah.
Do you need a mint, good sir?
I was just like,
Get in there.
Nice
Not
and
Steve
deep
Black.
Right? He'd look over and be like, hey, do you got a mint? And you're like, yeah, just reach in my pocket. I'm kind of washing my hands. It's
I
there.
think I have one in my locker.
uh,
But yeah.